This is probably the last one for today because I have work this evening for the Patreon and my patrons, and I need to save energy for that. So, one of my wonderful YouTube followers, subscribers, asked me about the baseline activity on the sun. And it was a very astute observation on their effort. So, when the sun goes through its solar cycle, which is about 11 years, it peaks and then it drops, and then it peaks and then it drops. And so, right now, we're in the peaking of a solar cycle. And I have been saying that it was going to happen sooner than the NASA NOAA prediction model had. So, here are the sunspots for the last several decades. I should have said years, not decades, but at any rate, what this shows you is whether we've had spotless days on the sun. So if there's no spotless days, then there are way more solar flares. And you can see that we are in a period of last year we had 1 day without sunspot regions. The year before that, there were 64 days, et cetera, et cetera. And you can watch how it goes up and then goes down and then goes up and then goes down. So when you look at the X-ray flux graph, you can see over there that it starts with A, B, C, M, and X. Don't ask me why we went straight to M and X. But at any rate, I think never mind. I'm not even going to try to hypothesize. I'm not a physicist. I don't work for NASA. But what I do know is how to observe graphs. And so what has happened is that someone asked me, is it ever in the AB range? And the answer is yes, it was. And I'm going to go back through the historical data to verify if this is how it goes every time we're at the peak of a solar cycle, because chances are this is just how it does it. But what has happened is a year ago, we were down in the A and B range as a baseline amount of solar activity. This is just what's crackling back there all the time and doesn't even really count or register as, ooh, big solar flare. And then a year ago, it started popping off C flares and ratcheted itself up to being in that zone. And it has stayed right about the C flare line all year, all of 2022. And as I thought it might, it is bumping us up into a higher range. So right now you can see it's in that higher C range level, and I don't know if it's going to stay there and then we'll just have M flares and that'll be the big excitement. But at any rate, I think it's helpful that these things happen gradually because it gives us time to adapt physically. So I hope that helps a little to explain that, and I'll talk to you later.